Greetings, mercenaries, MechWarriors, and the merely curious. Manus Dextra here with take 2 for episode 15 of my complete walkthrough for MechWarrior 5. So, I already did these drops once on a live stream, but there were a lot of technical difficulties, so we're going to do them again. In episode 14, which is now time-stamped for your efficient viewing pleasure, we ended up on Sarna, trapped with the survivors of a botched invasion. So in this episode, we're going to pick up right where we left off. You can check the description for timestamps to points of interest. But for now, saddle up, buttercups, and let's get going. Okay, so at this point, we've actually just fought a series of battles. Once we've gotten to Sarna, linking up with all the remnants of the invasion forces, and the last thing we did in the last episode is we finally managed to make contact with what's left of the Crater Cobras, and this is our debrief from Colonel Westrick. So that sure is some story you got there, Commander, and well, I'm glad to hear that Captain Damu was able to rally a number of survivors from the Fusiliers' ranks. You won't find much sympathy for their plight among my men after what Hearthstone pulled. You see, things went sideways for us the second we arrived in system. After they heard Maximilian Lau killed their beloved Duke, General Hearthstone ordered the 5th Syrtis Fusiliers to charge ahead of the invasion flotilla on a high-G burn that jumped the gun on the agreed-upon invasion schedule. They beat us to the planet's surface by 2 days, hoping to satisfy their lust for revenge. All they did was walk face first into a trap that doomed them all. I can still hear the screams they broadcast to us in a vain hope that we could save them while we were still over a day away from reaching the planet. The Screaming Eagles and I decided that despite the incompetence of Hearthstone and the Fusiliers, we could not deviate from our contracted invasion plan. If we packed it up and left for home, we might have lived, but we would have never been able to find an MRB-backed contract again. We came to the joint decision that we would drop in system and fight out McCarran's armored cavalry in a protracted guerrilla war and attempt to get a message off system requesting reinforcements from the armed forces of the Federated Suns. Little did we know that the Capellans had some kind of jamming field that disrupts long-range communications planet-wide. Those bastards kept their jammers off so we could listen to the Fusiliers plead for their lives on our approach in, only to flip the switch and jam our comms the second we hit atmosphere. We've been trying to figure out a way to get a message to the jump point ever since. Commander, we've spent months scouting out facilities that the Capellans use to disrupt long-range communications on a planet. But with our numbers, we've always determined that assaulting one was too high risk. With you here, we may just be able to pull it off. We know the Capellans are gunning for us, so if we pull the Big Mac's attention away from a number of their regional jamming arrays, we should be able to thin their defenses enough to where you can perform a targeted strike and bring those jammers down. It'll be just like Galahad. We'll draw them away, and you see that the mission gets done. I'll be straight with you, Commander. This mission is critical to us being able to get a message out of the system. I don't know how much longer any of us can last down here, but if you give us a month or so, we can plan for an assault on these jamming facilities. So take your time to prepare your forces and be ready for anything. We may have the need to deploy in consecutive missions depending on how McCarran's reacts to their jammers being destroyed. So make sure you complete as many repairs and refits as possible before we execute the mission. Godspeed, my friend. and we'll see you on the other side. All right. So yeah, this is basically going to be I think this first drop is going to be a raid. So the only way we'll be able to get a message off to the jump point is if we can take down the ECM jamming network blocking long-range communication. Destroy the jamming arrays, the marked nav points, and then move to regroup on our position. We don't know how the Confederation will react to our attacks, so prepare yourself for the possibility of consecutive deployments. Yeah. All right. So we'll go for 1 damage. Crank up the salvage. Take the rest in cash. All right. So the way we're going to do this. We go ahead and use the Battle Master. And since we have time for repairs, I think we're going to go ahead and leave this entire lineup. But go ahead and see the way I've got the Battle Master set up. This is probably my favorite assault mech right now just because of those, man. Those, that pinpoint damage from 6 medium lasers is really, really good. And surprisingly, it doesn't really have heat problems either. All right, you can see the way I've got it set up. So the AC2 and the SRM6 are by themselves, and then you can see I'm firing all the lasers at the same time, and I'm never really, the only time I use chain fire is like if I'm taking out flyers and turrets and stuff. But yeah, it's got really good heat capacity, and you can fire those lasers over and over. All right. Yep, I don't guess there's anything else to look at there. You can see how these guys are set up. All right.
The Crater Cobras have provided us with the location of a series of powerful ECM arrays that have been disrupting long-range comms across the entire Sarna system. If we destroy enough arrays within the region, we should be able to pierce the localized disruption field and get a message out to the system's jump point. We need to destroy these ECM arrays in order to have any hope of getting a message off-world. If we don't succeed, well,
show map.
We'll all most likely die here, Commander.
Close map.
Ah, lovely. No pressure at all for the likes of us, eh?
I know it's hard to hear, but it's the simple truth. While we've had our successes, McCarran's armored cavalry still has 4 full regiments of troops on Sarna. It's a simple numbers game. The reality is, we don't have enough forces to come out ahead. Even with the Crater Cobras and Screaming Eagles, we need reinforcements. And with the system's HPG down, the only way that we can ever hope of getting them is if we get a message back to Davion Command through a ferried message by jump ship. Bringing down these ECM arrays is our only chance at doing that. I'm not exaggerating when I say that this time, all our lives are depending on this. So good luck, Commander.
All right, so the plan is I'm going to let my lance mates hopefully tie up the enemies while I go in and take out these jammers. Get within about half a click, we ought to start seeing some enemy contacts.
Contact.
There it is. Yeah.
Target acquired. Target.
I got it.
Target destroyed.
Yeah. Don't want to ignore the.
New target spider.
Want to ignore those flyers because
Mech destroyed.
Target acquired. New target assassin.
Reactor explosion detected.
all right.
Target acquired.
All right. That's the first one.
That
Let's go
was a
get the next
transmission
closest
on
one.
the AFFC's command line. The first one since we've arrived at Sarna. I can't make out anything in it, but destroying the other ECM towers might allow us to hear the broadcast. Keep it up, Commander.
New target rifleman.
Lance on my tango.
Shared target. Here we go.
Target destroyed. Target acquired. Target acquired. Target destroyed.
All right, I gotta quit messing around here.
Got another one.
Our troops have broken through the mercenary lines. We'll be in position to encircle them in a matter
New
of hours.
target dragon.
Damn it. Commander,
Lance
the
on my
ECM
tango.
disruption is weakening, but McCarran is encircling our forces while you're attacking the ECM installations. We don't have the numbers to fight through them. We need those towers destroyed so we can find a gap in their lines. We fought too long and too hard for this to be our end.
Target acquired.
When the great provinces
Target
are being torn
destroyed.
apart.
Crap. Yeah, I remember this one.
Beyond heavy, the Federated Sons. We break Sarna's after.
The message is getting clearer, but we still can't make out any discernible information. We
Zoom
need
out.
to destroy those remaining
Close
ECM
map.
towers.
Commander,
Yes.
our tactical projections are not good. The only way we can break through McCarran's forces is if we abandon our wounded. That is not something I'm willing to do. We're preparing to make our last stand. Finish the mission, Commander, then get as far away from us as possible. Regroup with Captain Damu. Get a message back to Davian Command. Survive.
New
Colonel
target.
Westrake, I'm sorry we couldn't do more.
Lance on my
okay.
tango.
It's the part of the job that all of us mercenaries must accept at some point. Today,
Lance on my tango.
it's just my time.
Can't target that, Commander.
Target acquired. Target destroyed. Target destroyed.
And so my tango. This is not...
Target acquired. Target destroyed. Target destroyed. Target acquired.
Commander's kill is about to explode.
thin these guys out a little bit.
Weapon systems down.
Right.
Detecting.
Yeah!
Target destroyed. Target acquired.
Target down.
Target destroyed. New target cataphract.
Cancel my tango.
Shared target engaged.
Did they get that? Cataphract while I go get this last jammer.
Target acquired.
What's that?
Target destroyed.
This is Arden Sortek of the Davion Heavy Guards calling all surviving forces of the Federated Suns. We have reached Sarna's atmosphere and are available to reinforce on your position. Is anyone out there? Please respond. Again, this is Arden Sortek.
Colonel Sortek, this is Colonel Richard Westrick with the Crater Cobras. My God, is it good to hear your voice. The Crater Cobras and the Screaming Eagles are pinned down 50 clicks east of the city of Catatonia along the coast. We estimate that the Big Mac will have us completely surrounded in 3 hours. Transmitting exact coordinates now.
Coordinates received. We're preparing an orbital mech drop to reinforce your position. Hold fast, Colonel. Help is here.
This is Captain Alana Damu with the survivors of the 5th Certist Fusiliers. We don't have much left, but we are moving to assist. ETA, 2 hours.
Looks like our salvation is here, Commander. I've marked a new exfil site on your map. Let's get out of here and join the others.
Shit. Well, that could have went better, but I think we can survive with this. Cataphract is not a big loss. Probably will not use the Battle Master again just because we're not going to have time to replenish our armor. And luckily, we've got a deep enough bench that we've got a consecutive drop. It's not going to be an issue. Alright, nothing too remarkable for salvage. I think we'll just go ahead. Yep, that's not too bad. Like anybody got shot up too bad, but like I said, luckily we've got a pretty deep bench, so let's see. Yeah, we've lost a bunch of armor. Go ahead and send these to cold storage. Not going to be using them. Okay. Let's go ahead. Commander, Captain damn you. We're about to engage in the fight of our lives. The Capellans must know that if they can't wipe us out before the heavy guards touch down on Sarna, it's over for them. Their only hope at maintaining control of the planet will be to utterly destroy our forces so that when Colonel Sortek touches down, they'll have the numbers to fight him back. We've all gone through too much just to lose everything at the end. We need to muster whatever strength we have left and hold the line until Colonel Sortek relieves us. Gather your best mechs, equipment, and MechWarriors and meet my Crater Cobras at the following coordinates. Prepare to give the Big Mac everything you've got. We did not go through 6 months of hell just to die on the day that reinforcements arrive. The only thing left to do is hold the line. We do that, we'll live to see tomorrow. All right, Colonel, I am right with you. So this is it, Commander. Colonel Sortek is almost here, and all that's left to do is hold out until his arrival. McCarran's is going to throw everything they have to kill us before Sortek's reinforcements arrive. This is a fight for our very lives, so bring the biggest, baddest mechs you can muster. We might actually make it off Sarna alive. All right, so we're going to take their advice. Or allocate these points. All right, so we're going to take their advice, and we're just going to go ahead. Since we've got fresh mechs, we're going to use them. I'm going to use the Stalker. Let's see what else we have. So I think, like the Grasshopper in slot number 2. All right, yeah, we got 350 tons here. We'll go ahead and try out the Cyclopses. They're both fire support mechs, but so we'll see if we can maintain our distance. We should be able to do all right with these. I'm gonna not that we can change anything, but go ahead and let everybody take a peek at these loadouts. If you're curious about them, you can use the pause button. But yeah, this makes a great fire support mech. Normally, I do not have the patience to pilot slow mechs like this one, but yeah, this is so much firepower. This is like I said, this is probably one of my favorite assault mechs. And we'll make sure his weapon groups look okay. And you see, this is a really good AI mech. You can see the way I've got my weapon group set up there. And these guys. So I'm not sure, after the campaign's over, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep these out. These are, I guess, okay in a pinch maybe, but yeah, I'm not. It seems like the Cyclopses are just, they're fast, but yeah, if you get them armored up, you don't really have a lot of tonnage left for firepower. And I'm just, that's kind of puny for an assault mech. You can see his brother. Where's the other one at? So again, that's firepower is a little bit better on this one, but yeah, I'm just. So yeah. Double check these. Yeah, we don't want that at all. Let's try that. All right. Yep, I think that's how we're going to do it. So this is a relatively hard mission. I mean, we're going to have lots of mechs to kill, but the strategy here is, one of the reasons that I'm using these is because we're going to try to maintain long range and just kill them with LRMs.
This is it, everyone. Colonel Sortek is on the verge of making planetfall and is en route to our position. McCarran's knows that if we successfully relink with the Davian heavy guards, they're done for. So they're going to throw everything they have at us, trying to put us in the ground before Colonel Sortek's reinforcements arrive. We've spent the past 6 months in hell. cowering and sulking in the shadow of those bastards, trying to survive against unprecedented circumstances. No dropship support, no air support, no way of communicating with the jump point. Hell, we even made it by with no HPG, completely blind to the rest of the inner sphere. We made it through all of that. But today, finally, we can stand tall against these compelling bastards. Today is a day of retribution. Today we are finally taking the fight to them.
Fusiliers, I'm not one for speeches as eloquent as our mercenary friends. We have been struggling to survive since the Grey River ran red with the blood of our fallen brothers and sisters. Just remember, they're still here. They're watching over us. And today, God willing, we will avenge their deaths. For New Certus, for House Hasek.
We have contacts. Dead ahead. All forces fire at will. Stay in cover and support one another. Don't let them spill one more ounce of Cobra's blood today.
Commander, Colonel Westrick is right about one thing. The McCarran's forces will be relentless. There's no telling when the Davion heavy guards will make it to the field. So we need to support one another if we're going to make it out of this alive. Tread carefully, Commander.
All right, so we're going to stand back and wait for those guys.
Contact the enemy mech.
Raven.
Forgive me, old base. My target got a critical shot in.
Target destroyed. Target acquired. Incoming missile.
Enemy mech down. Easy as ever.
Acquired. New target. Vindicator. Critical. Incoming missile.
6 months.
All right.
McCarran and his cronies have taken 6 months and hundreds of our brothers and sisters' lives with them. Fusiliers, make them pay!
Critical. New target Blackjack. Target acquired. Heat critical.
Boom! Target mech destroyed.
Heat critical. Target destroyed. System offline.
All right, cool down a little bit here. Here are these little bastards. All right. Stay back, but try to get a little better firing lane here. Like everybody's doing all right. I get in here around all these buildings where I not going to be able to fire my missiles.
Sensors detecting enemy mechs.
All right, here they are.
Tango eliminated.
Destroyed. Target acquired. Incoming missile.
Try to maintain range.
Incoming missile. Heat critical. Target destroyed.
Everybody's still doing good. So if we can keep drawing those guys out.
Target acquired.
Tango destroyed.
Destroyed.
Forces of the Federated Suns, my Davion heavy guards have just touched down. Our rushed mech drops scatter us across a wide area. We are reforming our lances and about to move on your position now. ETA 2 minutes. Hold out just a little longer.
One more mech out of the fight.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
It looks like everybody's doing pretty well. Yeah, the trick here is just to maintain distance and, you know, try to set up where you have a clear firing line, which is a challenge with these tall buildings, but as you can see, you can do it. All right. So we can draw the rest of those guys out. I know we got another... So, yes, we can get around the corner here and get some line of sight on these guys.
Mech spotted.
Dynasty unit, prosecuting mercenary mechs.
Target destroyed.
Forces of the Federated Suns, the Davion heavy guards are here to assist. It's time to take the fight to McCarran's armored cavalry.
That's our cue, Commander. One last push, and then it's over.
All right.
Let's finish this.
Target acquired.
All armored cavalry forces, this is Colonel Archibald McCarran. The Davion heavy guards have made planetfall and have taken the field right in the rear of our column. This is a fight we can no longer win. All forces, break off your engagements and escape to your
Target
dropships.
destroyed.
Sarna
Target
is lost.
acquired.
No need bringing you to go down with it.
Forces of the Federated Suns, give them no quarter. For months these wolves have hunted you like prey lost in the woods. But now you have a chance to defang McCarran's armored cavalry once and for all.
For the fallen! For the 5th Certus Fusiliers!
Did I just hear that right? McCarran's forces are withdrawing. Is there really a need to run them down?
We're still at war, Fahad. The Federated Suns will want to ensure that an elite unit such as McCarran's is crippled as much as possible to put all of House Liao in a position of vulnerability in the future. I also imagine compassion and reason are the last things on the minds of everyone that went through the last 6 months of hell at the hands of the armored cavalry. For better or worse, we still have our orders. Let's help clear the field and see this battle through.
New target, Stalker. destroyed. Target acquired.
To all forces of the Federated Suns, we have cleared the field. Sarna is ours.
Commander, I just want to say thank you. If you hadn't come to help us all those months ago, I have no doubt in my mind that we would have died like the rest of our brothers and sisters in the 5th. We'll never forget what you did for us.
Likewise, Captain. Without you, we would never have been able to complete our mission for the
Still got some
Kestrel
bad guys down here.
Now let's all roll back in with the heavy guards and finally get some R&R. It's been one hell of a campaign.
Yes, they got him. All right. So that wasn't too bad. So the trick to this, I think, if you're going to use, a bunch of fire support mechs like I did, I think that is definitely a good strategy. But you're just going to have to, be careful about, positioning yourself so you have effective firing lanes and maintaining distance so you can use those LRMs. I think I did pretty good on that. We'll see. Wow, lots of blackjacks and vindicators, which I'm not really interested in. Let's see what else. Like nothing else for salvage, so I guess we'll just go for value. All right, so let's see. Yeah, we did respectable amounts of damage, except he didn't do so well. Guess we'll have to look at those loadouts. But yeah, I think everyone else is pretty productive here, so I'm not going to complain too much. All right. Commander, I've just received your report from Arden Sortek. I cannot tell you how glad I am to hear that you made it through the Sarna campaign. When I heard of the armored cavalry ambush and the HPG being destroyed, I feared that I may have condemned you all to death. You had all the Kestrel Lancers worried for you. Well, I am sorry that I cannot be there on Sarna to debrief you in person, as there is still much for me to do here on Tigris. Please accept this canned message as your formal debriefing. By the time Comstar is able to deliver this message to you, our offensive, which the news feeds have taken to calling the Fourth Succession War, will be over. As I speak, Comstar is negotiating an end to all hostilities between the 5 great houses. When all is said and done, the Capellan Confederation will have to capitulate that it has lost over half its former territory, most of it to be claimed by House Davian through right of conquest, but some by 2 former Capellan commonalities declaring independence from the Confederation. The first to break away was the Tikhonov commonality. They were holding out hope that the Confederation would come to their aid, but after being cut off from direct logistical route to Cyan, they eventually declared independence to spare their citizens from further Davian invasions. You won't believe who leads them. Our old friend Pavel Ridzik. After he managed to escape our forces and fled to Tikhonov, Strategic Director Ridzik retreated to Elgin, where he took control of the region, declaring himself Supreme Lord of the Tikhonov Free Republic. His reign didn't last long, as an assassin killed him in June. The other breakaway faction is the St. Ives commonality. The former heir to the Confederation, Candace Lau, abandoned her father to declare her province independent of the Confederation. I can't imagine how Maximilian Lau is taking that one. Comstar is negotiating to formally recognize these independent provinces as new nations once their leaders can charter the new laws of their provisional governments. Be sure to be on the lookout for those who once be sure to be on the lookout for those two once the dust settles later this year. The next item we need to discuss is the destruction of Sarna's HPG. After the Fusiliers destroyed the HPG, Comstar was furious with the Federated Suns. Claiming us ultimately responsible for its destruction, they put the entirety of the Federated Suns under interdiction, cutting off interstellar communications and commerce between hundreds of Federation worlds. Your report about the imposter Fusiliers captured by Captain Damu couldn't have come at a worse time. Had we known about this a month ago, we would have been able to mount a defense against Comstar's accusations. But First Prince Davian has already agreed to allow Comstar to station its own mech security forces at every HPG in the Federation to ensure that such a debacle never happens again. It's much too late to defend our role in the Sarna HPG attack now. Even if we now know that we were not responsible for its destruction. The interdiction, along with the war effort, sent the Federated Suns economy into a tailspin. Had they maintained their interdiction, Comstar could have very much bankrupted the entire Federation. Which brings me to the most uncomfortable part of this debrief. Commander, the Federated Suns can no longer financially support the remainder of our contract with your unit. I'm to inform you that we are invoking our cancellation clause and releasing you from the remaining 4 months of your contract. You will be compensated for this with your agreed upon MRB release bonus. I'm sorry our time together had to end like this, Commander, but it's completely out of my hands. The Crucis Lancers won't be escaping these budget cuts either. While for the time being my command still exists on paper, for the most part, most of the personnel from the 2nd Crucis Lancers have been consolidated into the 3rd Crucis under Marshal Pedrosa's command and will continue to garrison Tigris. I currently exist to ensure that the Kestrel Lancers continue to be a paper tiger to our enemies while the Federation's economy recovers from the war. But I won't let this deter me. I forged the Kestrel Lancers from nothing once, and I can do it again. Although you won't be around to help me this time, Commander, I'll never forget the contributions you and your team made to keep the legend of the Kestrel Lancers alive. We'll be back and stronger than ever. You'll see. Goodbye, my friend, until we meet again. Alright, so let's see what kind of loot we got. Alright, that's nice. Could do something with that. Ultra auto cannon, that's kind of interesting. Some good LRMs, at LBX-10, and a bunch of double heat sinks. I really like that. And then just some ammo bins. All right, we'll take that. So that concludes the Legend of the Kestrel Lancers campaign. Let's see where we're at on the star map here. So we're at Sarna. And yeah, at this point, I think we're going to double back over here. We're going to go to this industrial hub and kind of regroup and rebuild. We might as well do it in friendly territory. Yep, I think we'll pass on that Marauder for now. Yeah, I think we'll pass on that too. All right. All right, so I think this came out a little bit better than as far as quality-wise what happened in the live stream. So yeah, I think this is going to be the new official episode 15 of the walkthrough. So, and I think we're going to cut it off here. So, you know, between episodes, I'm going to get everybody patched up, and we're probably going to bring some of these mechs out of cold storage, because I definitely want to rebuild a mixed light and medium lance so that we can do some infiltration missions. But yeah, I think I'll go ahead and get that worked out off screen, and we'll go over the changes for that in the next episode. But in the meantime, I think that's going to do it for this one. And so until next time,